I got 5 questions for you. That's it. 5 questions that I'm positive will bring you clarity because that's what's important when it comes to finances. These are questions that I've asked myself in the past and questions that I really want you to figure out the answer to. I go by the name of Q. If you're unfamiliar, if you are familiar, shout out to you. Welcome back to the channel. Question number 1. What was the last purchase or purchases that you made greater than $100 other than any of your bills? Super important question. The last purchase or purchases you made greater than $100 other than any of your bills. Now I get it. You got the holidays, you got birthdays, you got special events. That's acceptable. But aside from that, what did you spend $100 on? Because $100 is the new $20 bill basically, and it's super easy to blow through $100. So if you're struggling with saving, if you're struggling with getting started with investing, that could be the difference right there. A lot of people say they don't have enough money to save, but then they'll spend $100 frivolously without even realizing it. Or a lot of people will say they don't have money to invest, but they'll spend $100 frivolously. That $100 can be you getting started with what you really have top priority over, which is saving or investing. So ask yourself that question, find out the answer, and we'll talk about it at the end of the video. Question number 2. Have you ever tracked your spending? Super important question as well. Have you ever tracked your spending? Too many times we go swipe crazy with the debit card or the credit card, then we wonder where our money went versus knowing 100% where our money went because we've tracked it. This is something that used to haunt me in the past, but that's a wrap. That's over with now for me. It's all the small little purchases you make throughout a month that you don't even realize, right? It's so insignificant, but it adds up. So I got some homework for you. Do yourself a favor after you finish watching this video. Log into your bank account. Log into your bank account. Pick any month, January through December, right? Any month you choose. And pull the bank statement. Pull the bank statement on that month and look at all the purchases you made. It may be a $2 purchase at the gas station. It may be a $5 purchase at the drive-thru, maybe a $7 purchase at Starbucks, maybe a $1 purchase at the vending machine, maybe a $7 purchase at Walgreens, and then another dollar because they asked you if you wanted to donate to charity. All those things seem super insignificant, but they add up. So pull out a calculator. Add all those purchases up, all those mini, miniature, minute, minuscule purchases. Add them up. Add them up, and first of all, be surprised. Be surprised, because my mind was blown when I did that for the first time. I'm like, damn, I'm spending that? I'm spending that much? Okay. After you get that total, cut it in half, because it's damn near impossible not to make those purchases. I still do it to this day. I still do it, but I'm mindful. That's what we want to get to. We want to get to the point of mindfulness to let you know the error in your ways. It may be, like I said, pack of gum, a Gatorade, $2 here on the back. Like, if you get it. The small little purchases that you don't think about, those all add up into something crazy, and that can be all the difference of you saving or investing that amount. Question number 3. How often, if ever, does the lack of money stress you out? Dead ass, serious. That's the question I had to ask myself. How often, if ever, does the lack of money stress you out? That thing had me stressed out when I was super duper duper broke. When I just didn't know how much money I had coming in. When I didn't know how I was going to pay this bill or how I was going to pay that bill. When I was paying my phone bill late intentionally because I had no other option. When my phone bill was just cut off every other month. I was stressed out. That's not even groceries. That's not even rent. That's not even diapers for my kids because I didn't have kids at the time. That's not even gas for my car. I was stressing over a phone bill. So that goes to show the priority. I had everything else taken care of. So the fact that stress can really consume you and really take over your life, to me personally, that should be enough for you to say, okay, I need to do something else. What I'm doing right now currently is not working, and I'm stressing out over X, Y, and Z. I need to do something different. So right now, I want you to ask yourself that question. How often, if ever, does the lack of money stress you out? Because the lack of money That's enough to make people commit crimes. Question number 4. To what extent have you ever discussed money with someone? Another super important question. We all know that money is a taboo subject. Nobody likes to talk about it other than the surface level of how much they make or how much they lack. But nobody really wants to go into detail. The detail is the most important part. Having healthy money conversations with people can help all parties involved. This is one of the main reasons I jumped on YouTube, because when I first started changing my financial situation, I was a weirdo. I was completely weird and different, which is another thing. If you're trying to get your finances in order, you're technically a minority, because majority people don't operate in this manner, especially around their money. Majority people are consumers. They don't invest. They stay in debt, etc. We're minorities. We're minorities by budgeting. We're minorities by tracking our spending. We're minorities by investing. We're minority about trying to retire with dignity. That's just the honest truth. So make sure you're surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals, accountability partners if you will, so that way you stay on track. As soon as you start falling off, your accountability partner is right there to say, hey, did you track your spending this month? Or did you make your budget this month? Or so forth and so on. If you're hanging with people who are just terrible with money, just remove yourself. Just remove yourself. It's going to be some pushback. It's going to be some friction. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. I had to isolate myself when I started my journey, because nobody in my real life, not a brother, not a cousin, not an uncle, not my parents, nobody around me was doing the things that I'm doing right now. And that goes back to what I was saying before. It's a minority type of thing. It's a very small percent of people who are fiscally responsible, and that's okay. Maybe they'll learn in the future, but you don't have time to wait for them, because your future is more important. Your priorities are more important. Always keep that in mind. It's not personal. It's just facts. It's real life, especially if you got kids, especially if you're a little bit older and you're worried about your retirement. You got to do what's best for you no matter what. Question number 5. And I saved this one for the end because I honestly think it's the most important question to ask yourself. If you didn't have to worry about money, what would you be doing with the time you spend working for it? That was the question that got me right there. If I didn't have to work for money, right? Say if I was financially set, financially independent, money was not an object, what would I be doing with my time? That's the question I had to ask myself. And I want you to ask yourself, because that's going to bring ultimate clarity. I have a goal. If you've been following me for some time, then you know. I have a goal to retire no later than 42 years old, right? That's a ways away from now, right? I'm relatively young, 42. That's when I want to retire. The reason I want to retire is because I have a 1-year-old daughter. What goes through my head is I want to be able to take her to school and pick her up from school if that's what I wanted to do. I want to be able to take her to whatever recitals, whatever extracurriculars she have, and pick her up from whatever said recitals and whatever said extracurriculars she had, because that's something I'm passionate about. As a kid, I did sports, right? I've been an athlete from the age of however old you are in third grade all the way through some college. And I can count on one hand. How many times my dad came to see me play basketball, right? I played basketball. I can count on one hand how many games he came to, and it didn't bother me as it was happening, but once I got older, it started to hit me like, man, all these other parents are in the crowd. All my other teammates' parents, they're pulling up to every game, cheering their kid on, and I never had that. My dad came to maybe 2 or 3 games, and I was grateful for that. But the reason he didn't come to my games was because he had to work. He had to put food on the table. He had to provide a roof over our head. He had to put clothes on our back. And I understood that, but it was still a bitter taste in my mouth, because it's like, damn, I would love for my dad to be at the game with me. You know, my siblings, they came to a couple games, but they were occupied doing things also. So if you didn't have to worry about money, what would you be doing with the time you spend working for it? That's the question that I want you to ask yourself. It's not about the money. At the end of the day, it's not about the money. For me, it's not about the money. It's about the options that it provides. If you're financially independent, right, when you don't have to worry about money, you can do anything you want to do. If you want to record that studio album you've been dreaming about, if you want to travel, like if you want to go back to school for something, whatever you want to do, when you don't have to worry about money, you can do those things. But when you're so focused on money, so stressed out about money, so trying to figure out when the next dollar is coming in, all you got to think about is eating. All you got to think about is how to pay these bills. And that's no way to live. That's no way to live. And that's why I stress on this channel is like, I'm pursuing entrepreneurship. But you don't have to be an entrepreneur to retire early, right? Some people may love their job. I'm one of those people who don't, but I know it's necessary because I have a family to provide for. So I have to go to work. I have goals that I want to meet, that I want to reach, so I have to go to work. But I have a plan in mind, and I'm working that plan. I wrote that plan out back in 2016, and I revised that plan every month, every quarter. However I see fit to revise or make revisions, that's what I do. That's exactly what I do. I'm sorry, I just got emotional. I just got emotional right there. But real talk, that's it. That's exactly it. Like this video if you like it. If this video helped you in any way, let me know. I'll leave my email in the comments. I've been doing non-stop, literally non-stop consultations on finance because I realize my audience, I have a lot of people who don't know the things that I know. And while I do want to help everybody, I know I can't help everybody. But at the end of the day, if I can help you, don't hesitate to reach out. Follow me on IG. Q makes it happen on IG. Let's just have these money conversations, and I'll holler at y'all next video. Peace.